It's Reverend Laurie with Unity of Ocala here on Wednesday, August 1st, first day, or excuse me, September 1st, the first day of September as we move in to the month that represents the power of order. It's not always been my favorite power, but it's the one that I need to work on this month, especially as I begin to get my life into some semblance of a new order. And it is pouring outside. I am soaking wet. I had to change my shirt when I came in. I took Kinsley to school bright and early this morning, about 8:30. Thought I'd stop in the grocery store and get me some groceries. I thought I was going on the road yesterday. Ended up, we can't leave till next week. So I stopped in for some groceries, came out and it was pouring and I got soaking wet and I love it. And it's a cool rain and it's not very humid out. So I'm feeling the creepings of fall and I am loving it. Today I was going to spend my day in the yard, in my garden, around my containers basically, because it's amazing what these plants will do if they're not babysat. They go crazy. My tomatoes are about done. They are beginning to look a little sickly and I've only got a few bright green bulbs left that'll soon be turning red. My red peppers are doing nice. The green is starting to turn to this deep kind of purplish, and pretty soon there'll be this beautiful deep beet red and sweet. My hot peppers always do good. I don't care what state I live in, they thrive. They're not my favorite vegetable, but they thrive. And I will either pickle them or I will saute them and make a nice spicy hot pepper oil for my stir fries. But my sweet potatoes, I got to tell you about my sweet potatoes. Now, I got these special great big containers, these big round kind of gunny sack type containers that have a little pouch at the bottom where you can cultivate and get your potatoes out, your carrots, your onions, your garlics and that. All these bulb vegetables that do not do well in Florida because of the heat and the soil and maybe me, I don't know, I just haven't been able to do very well. And they're doing well. My potatoes sprung these great big leafy plants that I cut down and they grew again, and you're supposed to wait till they turn brown and fall over, and they're kind of starting to do that, but they stayed in place. My carrots are getting nice and bushy greens on them. They've stayed in place like good carrots do. My onions have stayed in place. Even my sweet peppers that tend to wander a little bit, they stayed in place. My blueberry plants, which I put on the ground, stayed in place. My sweet potatoes, however, have climbed out of their containers and are running away, literally, to the lake. They are running to the lake. Now, last year, I planted them against the wall of, we have this seawall that separates our yard from the lake and also from gators. And I planted them in the soil that I have there. And I got some really, really nice sweet potatoes, the ones that I could get out of there. The problem was there's also a lot of roots from the cypress trees around, and I couldn't get all the sweet potatoes out. And the sweet potatoes jumped the fence, jumped the wall into the water and started growing these vines out into the water. And I thought, oh my gosh, I don't know if this is good for the water. I don't know if it's good for the fish. So I had to clip all of that off, and those buggers still wanted to grow. Well, now they're down by the banana trees, and they're just growing up the banana trees and around the banana trees. And I don't know what they're going to do. I'm not going to let them get in the water. They're trying to take over the dock. These nuisances are everywhere. So I was going to go down and trim all that back, but not today because it is pouring. And so they're going to be even worse tomorrow. That's okay. And I'm just thinking about the wonder of God. From these little seeds, these sweet potatoes have grown a life of their own. They are continuing with this extraordinary energy of God, and they kind of run like green beans, you know, the runners, and they put a little root down every few inches. And from there, I don't know what's happening underneath, but this delicious tuber comes to us, which is delicious roasted. Oh my gosh. Or whatever you do with your sweet potatoes. I love mine roasted like a baked potato with just a little bit of butter and sea salt on it. Oh, I can't wait. But they just do what they were designed to do. Oh, there's a great big fat squirrel in my tree, just loving this ring, playing in it. Oh my goodness. He's probably building a nest. Anyways, I can sit up here and watch the wonder of God, the life force that is constant and eternal from little tiny seeds, these massive, gorgeous trees that house nests of little animals, sweet potatoes that thrive in lake water. It makes me just wonder the gazillion forms that God takes. And it gives me so much to be grateful for, that I can sit here and breathe a little bit and watch my sweet potatoes grow and appreciate my family and those moments with my grandbaby in the car when she gets here to my house a little bit late because mommy's trying to get two babies ready. And we have to eat breakfast in the car. And I always make her scrambled eggs with cheese and toast with strawberry jam. That's her favorite. Now I have this little Tupperware breakfast box. As soon as we get into the school, we have to wait in line because there's hundreds of other parents and grandparents. And the bell doesn't ring until 9:40. We get into line at least 9:30. And she sits in the seat next to me. After we stop, she can come up out of her car seat and she eats her breakfast. And we talk about all the wonderful things of the world, including sweet potatoes this morning. But next week, I'm hoping to get on the road. My daughter's going to go with me. She wants us to go to Virginia and then maybe up to Unity Village and around. We've got some friends in northern Georgia and down. Might be on the road for about a week or so. I'm hoping she's able to go. She's got her eyes on a college near the naval base in Virginia that is a school for captains that allow them to get additional tonnage on their license. My daughter's a master captain, which means that she can not only do the manatee tours and the dives and the pub crawls and all the wonderful tourist tours that folks like to take from all around the world. They've got people from all around the world that come to these beautiful springs in Homosassa. But last year, she got to assist a captain with a little bigger license, and she got to drive a super yacht from Sarasota, Florida, around the Florida Keys to Miami Bay for the owners who were flying down and couldn't decide if they were going to go to the Bahamas or pick up their yacht in Miami. Lacey was hoping to go to the Bahamas because this guy was letting her drive that mega ship. And she, well, from then on, the Homosassa River and the pontoon boats, they just didn't do it for her. She got that fever of these mega ships. She wants to be on the big barges, whether they're carrying passengers or goods or tugging other boats along, but it takes a lot of experience and a lot of education. There's an opportunity possibly for her in Alaska, and she could take her family all over. This is just exciting stuff. So we're going to visit that place in Virginia and see what that school has in store. Then I'm going to go to Unity Village with or without my daughter because that's our home ship and I miss it. I haven't been there since the Easter after I left Unity of Citrus, which was 2012. I left I think it was November of 2012. That Easter was my first Easter without church. The first time I didn't have Easter Sunday for over 15 years as a minister, let alone as a Unity student who spent every Easter at Unity because they're so fabulous. And I was really lost. And I flew to Kansas City, rented a car, drove to the village like I always do. And that was the year they had this terrible ice storm. School was closed. It was spring break and Easter vacation for the seminary. And there was nobody at Unity Village. The coffee shop was closed. The bookstore was closed. The hotel had one attendant there and one other person that was staying there, but I never got to see them. They must have been on a silent meditation. And it was just an opportunity for me to be alone and to empty out what my life was going to be now without my church, with a sick husband, with all of these strange things happening. What was going to become of all this? So I went around the village and took pictures of all the different trees that looked so dead and so empty. And I noticed on one tree, this was in Well, it was at least the end of March. It was Easter time, but everything was just, oh my goodness. It looked like Mother Nature was just hibernating. Well, Mother Nature was hibernating. I did notice on one of the cherry trees that are on the property, there was a tiny little gray-green bud at the end of one of the gnarly little branches. I just got this little spring in my body saying, it's going to be all right. So I can't wait to get out there now where it's approaching fall in that part of the United States and see what those trees look like and empty out again. Empty out all this that I've been carrying with my family, with my husband, with my journey, with the world situation. I just want to empty. I just want to empty so I can be filled with God. And I find the village one of the best places to do that. And I'm going to take you along. If I do ever make it out there, I'm going to take pictures. I'm going to do videos out there with you and for you. Lots of meditation. I'm planning on doing the full chakra meditation. So we'll be doing that on Sundays on Zoom this way with you. So you can join me. We'll also be celebrating Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. So get your honey and apples ahead of time and your candles, because we're going to do ritual, which is my favorite this time of the year. And of course, World Day of Prayer, which is next week, Wednesday and Thursday. It's a 24-hour prayer vigil. And you can log on to Silent Unity website and watch it live for the entire time of Silent Unity annual World Day of Prayer. We join with hundreds of thousands of other students, scholars, Unity folks around the world in this solemn day of 24/7 prayer. The names of those that we will be praying for will be ongoing. They will be, if it's like last year, they will be on a running streamer, one of those things called at the bottom of your screen. But we will be including, I'm quite sure, COVID victims, Afghani withdrawal victims, others that folks have called in, and you're welcome to call 1-800-NOW-PRAY and also add whoever's name you would like or whatever situation you would like. Anytime you need just that boost, that's my lifeline. 1-800-NOW-PRAY. You will hook up with the most amazing prayer who has been trained to know that God sees a broken heart in a little boy that lost his puppy just as easily as a family that lost a child. There's nothing small enough that God doesn't recognize and lift you. That's the miracle of knowing God and having this relationship with God, is knowing that when we get in a space where we just feel hopeless or sad or not well, we've got a lifeline. 1-800-NOW-PRAY. Connect. You can even go online and type it in. Doesn't matter what time of the day it is. It could be 4 a.m. Believe me, they're there. I've called. You will not be put on hold. And if you are put on hold, it'll only be very briefly. Sometimes they too get lots and lots of calls at the same time, especially during times like this. So be patient. But I'm going to leave our talk today, our love notes today, with susceptible to light. This felt good to my soul this morning when I read this. It's called Love Awaits You There. It's easier to notice pain than love. Love is the silence in the robin's throat that inspires it to sing. Love is the silent mantra of the universe that keeps all things together and spinning. Pain is the tree that crashes in the forest. Love is what grows from the fallen. Love is the silence cupped in the perfect folds of an autumn leaf. The beauty that dances through everything when your worried mind has finally stilled. We forget to notice love because of its perfect loyalty. Morning dew diamonding the grass. The extra sparkle in snow. For what other reason need it be there? The unconditional warmth arising daily to fill your sky. the ongoingness of flowers and sweet potatoes. Pause, dear one, pause. Love awaits you. We're taking a pause in September for our volunteers for this COVID variant that is now raging through. And for me, time to properly grieve and step back and empty. So take this pause of September. I'll be with you Wednesdays and Sundays. We'll still be doing meditation and music at the church twice a day on the second and fourth Tuesdays, and the drumming on Mondays, every other Monday, the second and the fourth. The office is still open. And of course, Silent Unity awaits you night or day, 24/7. I love you. God loves you. I'll see you on the road. Have a great week. Bye-bye.